The first agency which launched the investigation, of course, was the Gujarat police. Now, the Gujarat police was probing the leak of government documents. That's exactly what we are going to look at in terms of the beginning of this investigation. So, while they were investigating the leak of the sensitive government documents, it was in connection to that investigation that the police arrested Ahmedabad-based journalist Mahesh Langa. Now, remember, there are multiple cases against him, which we'll get into in just a bit. But this initial arrest was in connection to the GST fraud case. The Gujarat police also claimed to have recovered a tranche of documents on 25th of September in connection to this. And then they went on to book Mahesh Langa on charges of unauthorized possession of these government papers. Now, at the same time, we also saw the Congress party making reckless claims over these documents. In fact, there were multiple spokespersons from the Congress who were making what can be termed as unverified claims based on these documents. So that's, of course, what the case is all about. But let's turn our focus now to what's been the progress so far. So far, the Gujarat police has filed 3 cases against Mahesh Langa. The cases are those of GST fraud, theft, and also a case of extortion. Now, that's as far as the Gujarat police's investigations are concerned. But remember, there's a multi-agency probe which is currently underway. The Enforcement Directorate also began its probe in connection to the GST fraud case and conducted 2 rounds of raids across the state. The central agency claims to have uncovered a network of 200 shell companies, which they are probing further. And the Enforcement Directorate has also said that they are probing the possibility of a larger conspiracy. But what is the larger picture if we connect all the dots of this web of cases? Let's take a look at that now. Now, the Gujarat police, remember, has in fact recovered a tranche of government documents from Mahesh Langa, and the police claim that none of the documents were used for journalistic work. And that is, of course, a big statement which has come in from the Gujarat police. The ED also claims further that there's a corporate espionage angle at play, which also is something that they're investigating further. They're following up leads on that. The Gujarat police have claimed that bureaucrats were supplying documents to Langa allegedly, who in turn was apparently passing it on to corporates. So that is another lead which both the investigating agencies here are following. The police are also probing the role of bureaucrats who were associated with Mahesh Langa. Now, let's take a bird's eye view of the agencies which are so far involved in this investigation. First, let's look at Gujarat police and what they have done so far. They have filed 3 cases. If we turn to what those cases are briefly, the first case, of course, as we mentioned, is on the GST fraud case. The second one is related to theft of sensitive government documents. And the third one, of course, is a cheating and intimidation case. What has the Enforcement Directorate done so far? They have conducted 2 rounds of raids across the state. The ED claims that they have uncovered a network of 200 shell companies. And they have also claimed that there's evidence which they have found so far from their searches which points to Benami transactions. Remember, the Enforcement Directorate, of course, is also saying that they're looking at an angle of larger conspiracy as well. And there are several bureaucrats which are under the scanner of the Central Investigative Agency. Let's take a look at what the Gujarat police chief had to say on this particular case.
आज उसके खिलाफ हम एक और एफआईआर दाखिल करने जा रहे हैं। लगभग 28 लाख के करीब चीटिंग की एक एफआईआर एक कंप्लेनेंट आया है। और उस एफआईआर की डिटेल से पहले मैं बताना चाहूँगा कि यहाँ हमने जो अभी तक इन्वेस्टिगेशन की है वो पुलिस बहुत ही प्रोफेशनली कर रही है, कोई उसमें डाउट नहीं है। इसकी डिटेल में बताना चाहूँगा। सबसे पहले तो इसमें जो जीएसटी डिपार्टमेंट की तरफ से एक एफआईआर दाखिल करी गई थी 7 अक्टूबर को। उसके बाद महेश लांगा और कुछ एसोसिएट्स को अरेस्ट किया गया, घर पे उसके सर्च की गई। उसके घर पे करीब 20 लाख कैश मिले, कुछ डॉक्यूमेंट्स, इंक्रिमिनेटिंग डॉक्यूमेंट्स मिले। नई जो एफआईआर है ये चीटिंग की है। चीटिंग एक वन पर्सन जिसने कि पैसे दिए थे लगभग 28 लाख के, और उसने उनका काम नहीं किया और पैसे वापस नहीं दिए। अब उसे पता लगा कि महेश लांगा अरेस्ट हो गया है, तो ये कम फॉरवर्ड और उसने एक एफआईआर हमने दाखिल उसकी अभी कर रहे हैं।
And finally, that brings us to where do the investigations go from here? Now, as per sources, the CBI is likely to be roped in soon. In fact, the agency there may be probing the angles of corruption and extortion that has already emerged, at least in the initial stages of investigation conducted by the Gujarat police. The bureaucrats who are under the scanner are likely to be questioned as well by both the investigative agencies. The Income Tax Department is also likely to probe tax evasions based on unaccounted cash recoveries. So that's, of course, in a nutshell, what the case is about.